One more before we go to the break. John Meekum, he is the guy with the book out on Bush 41. I forget something in this book I questioned when it came out. Oh, that's right. In this book, 41 dishes on Cheney and Rumsfeld. I mean, creams them. Which, to me, doesn't make any sense. I can't tell you all the reasons why. But trust me, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, John Meekum used to run Newsweek, was on Fox News Media Buzz on Sunday morning, and had this to say, talking about his book with Bush 41.
One of the interesting things about doing this book was seeing how this culture was taking shape in the Bush 41 years. Obviously, it's before the internet, but CNN is, political talk shows are growing. Rush Limbaugh is becoming more of a force. Limbaugh endorses Pat Buchanan in the 1992 primary. And so what does Bush do? He actually invites Limbaugh over to the White House to spend the night and carries a suitcase for him. And that shut down Limbaugh. Suddenly Limbaugh was introducing Bush at campaign events.
Okay, so I haven't read the book, but I saw the soundbite here, and I thought, okay, if he's out there saying this, then I need to explain it. What? Well, no, it isn't what happened. Well, as far as it goes, it's what happened. The reasons it happened is what he gets wrong, and what I was doing in that campaign, and there weren't a whole bunch of talk shows starting even back. This is 1992. He mentioned CNN is it. There's no Fox News out there. At any rate, need to explain this, put some context to it. We'll do that. We come back. Sit tight. Don't go away, folks. Much more. Okay, there's so much wrong with what John Meekum said about my trip to the White House at the invitation of President Bush 41. But let's go through the things here that are just, in a sentence after sentence way, correct. Rush Limbaugh's becoming more of a force. Already was, but so what? Limbaugh endorses Pat Buchanan in the 1992 primary. So what does Bush do? He invites Limbaugh to the White House. That's not why I was invited to the White House. I was invited to the White House in June of 1992. The Republican primary was over. Buchanan was not a factor. It was Ross Perot who was the factor, and it was Ross Perot that was the reason I was invited to the White House. I did endorse Buchanan way, way, way back, and for one stated reason. And Buchanan, by the way, won the New Hampshire primary. That's what scared everybody. I endorsed Buchanan. He wins New Hampshire, and everybody, oh my, they started gulping. And I did it for one reason. Do you remember what it was, Snerdley? I wanted conservatism in the debate. Exactly. I wanted conservatism in the Republican primary. Bush was a sitting president. He had run in 1988 on the concept of being Reagan's third term. We had had the read my lips, no new taxes. We had had a bunch of things that had gone down that were not good, and I was simple when endorsing Buchanan. It was no idea, thought that Buchanan was going to win. I simply suggested Buchanan because I wanted his candidacy to survive more than a couple of weeks, so that there would be conservatism in the Republican Party primary debate process. Pure and simple. But by the time I was invited to the White House, the Republican presidential nomination was a fait accompli, and Bush had it sewn up. That is not why I was invited there. And we never discussed Pat Buchanan once. Not a single time. What was being discussed was Ross Perot and things in general. Now, the visit, Bush carrying my bags, I'll tell you what happened. I got to the White House. I went with a friend. We got there, and I was told it was a weekday night. We're going to have dinner, and then we're going to go to the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts with President and Mrs. Bush, and come back to the White House, chew the fat, and then I was asleep in the Lincoln bedroom, all of which happened, and then leave the next day. We got to Washington, took the shuttle, and I got about 5 o'clock, and my friend said, look, so grab dinner. I said, what, we're supposed to have dinner? He said, they eat like birds. If you really, and it's pretty much right. Some colored water is the soup or whatever. It was a very light meal, so I'm glad we ate first. Went to the old Ebbett Grill, in fact. Had dinner before checking in at the White House. Called my mom from the Lincoln bedroom. She didn't believe it. Lincoln bedroom is not where Lincoln slept. It was the office, the president's office back in those days. It's on the second floor. It's way down the hall from the primary presidential bedroom and living room. And anyway, we get off the elevator up there, and the president shouts, "Is that you?" I said, yeah. And he comes out and grabs, I had one bag, he grabs it and starts escorting me down the hall to show me where the Lincoln bedroom is. I said, Mr. President, stop. No, I'm happy to do it. And I made a big point when I told the story the first time, how he grabbed my bag, and I ran after him trying to get it. I mean, didn't think it was good form. Sit there and let the President of the United States carry your bag down the hall to the Lincoln bedroom. But he did it. So the fact-by-fact stuff Meekum has right here, but the reason that I was invited and the timing and the circumstances are off here. And by the way, if all you've got to do to get my endorsement is carry my bag somewhere, I'm waiting for all these Republican candidates to call me now that they've heard this. This is all it takes to get my endorsement. Invite me over for dinner, put me in your best bedroom, and carry my bags in the process, and I'm yours.